Feliz Dia de los Muertos, Happy Day of the Dead. This is one of my absolute favorite holidays, and I'm so excited that I get to share it with you all. In fact, I'm so excited about the holiday that I invited my friend to come along and help us celebrate Gigi Saul Guerrero. Welcome! Feliz Dia de los Muertos!
Mwah! Amigos, we are here. It is my favorite time of the year, Dia de los Muertos. I hope all of you guys have started already your shrines, your ofrendas. I can't wait to see them all.
So, Gigi, I know why this holiday is so important to me. Tell us why this holiday is so important to you.
You know, it's always been amazing to be able to share the Mexican cultures and traditions, especially living in Canada, that is such a diverse country of people from all over the world. And, you know, Dia de los Muertos, it really allows us to look at death differently. It allows us to embrace it and cherish it. And quite frankly, it allows us to not be afraid of it. I think that's the most beautiful, beautiful part because it's a way of life. And it's also why I love it so much is that it allows you to stay close to those loved ones, you know, and celebrate them forever. I think that is one of the most impeccable gifts that we can do is to continue, you know, people's legacy. So whether it's, you know, singing by their cemetery, singing mariachi songs with them, having tequila with them, whatever it is to continue their legacy, that to me is the most beautiful thing.
So I'm a very sentimental person, and maybe that's partially just like naturally who I am as a person, but I think it also has to do with our culture. It has just been deeply ingrained in me for my whole entire life that I'm essentially an amalgamation of those around me and everyone who came before me. There are things that I will never have to experience because my ancestors already did that part. I don't have to do that. And then there are things that they never got to experience that I am living as a result of their experiences and their work. Each of my successes honors my ancestors and those who came before me, who paved the way for me up until a certain point, and then it's my responsibility to kind of pick up the torch and then hopefully light the way for those who come next. And I just think for me personally, there's something really beautiful about that concept.
Exactly. At the end of the day, we are who we are because of what we learned from those who came before us, right? We continue to pass on traditions, quirks, mannerisms, even stubbornness. I mean, let me tell you, I know it runs in my family. So whatever we can do to just keep passing on the love in our families and our friendships, this really is the holiday to do that.
At the core of it, it's essentially that philosophy that none of us is an island, right? It's a community. I have benefited from the sacrifices and the work of others, and it is my intention that others will benefit from the work and sacrifice that I do in the course of my lifetime. So let's talk a bit about what this holiday is and what it is not. Recently, I think it's becoming more popular, which is amazing and it's very cool. I think a lot of people are maybe now more familiar with like this kind of makeup and this look and just the imagery behind it, but maybe not necessarily the symbolism of it or what it all means or the why of it, which is the important part. Mostly what I hear is I think sometimes people are confused thinking that this is a second Halloween or a Mexican Halloween. Not the case. That is not what it is.
Yeah. A lot of people have asked me, oh, in Mexico, you guys get 2 Halloweens.
No.
You can ask for candy twice. I'm like, well, I mean, we're Mexican. We can ask for candy any day. But, you know, you know, definitely people, you know, have just learned it from its imagery, which is beautiful. But it definitely has become so commercialized. Like you look at Santa Claus, you look at Halloween, it's falling in that trope of being so commercialized that the meaning is lost. I'm actually really thankful for the Pixar film Coco, because it actually made a lot of people learn what it is. It made a lot of people learn so much of it. And
I really cried with that film, let me tell you. I really cried with that movie.
My grandma looks just like Mama Coco. It's wild. But you know, I think we need to continue to encourage just education about it. It really is to celebrate death. It really is to celebrate our loved ones. It's not just, you know, the beautiful glam sugar skull makeup. It's not a Halloween costume. It's not just an excuse to do Mexican folklore imagery. It really is to celebrate traditions that come all the way since Aztec mythology, all the way since the goddess of Mictecacihuatl. It goes way, way back in time. So, you know, for those who know about it, we need to continue to encourage and spreading the history behind it.
Coco! No, we don't talk about Coco. I legit thought that I was gonna have to be carried out of the theater because I was just ugly crying. I was a mess.
I saw that movie with my abuela, and I had a scarf because it's cold in Canada. I had my scarf, and I just kept covering my face like, and my grandma's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "No, I'm not."
And I went to see it with one of my cousins, which didn't help because I think we were just both thinking about our grandparents and we're just looking at each other and just like heaving ugly sobs, ugly crying, violently ugly crying.
Yeah, that movie is ugly crying.
Yeah.
That movie is 100% ugly crying category. If you want to know where to find it at Blockbuster, go to the ugly cry section.
But yes, I think there's something to be said about that. The reason that I was ugly crying is because they got it so right. Like Coco just nailed it, the essence of it and the spirit of it and the why of it. Makeup isn't just meant to be cool or pretty. It is those things, but that's not the purpose of it. You know, everything about this holiday is quite beautiful, honestly. But it's all deeply, deeply steeped in symbolism. There's a why for everything. Everything means something. Do you want to tell us a bit about ofrendas and what they are, what they mean?
You know, people put so much effort in their ofrendas, in their shrines, and at the end of the day, it's so worth it. They look so beautiful, so bright. It all begins, of course, with having the cempasúchil flowers, the marigolds. Those go way, way back in Mexican history as truly the representation of the afterlife, of what comes next. You know, we decorate our shrines with papel picado, which means cut up paper. That is probably one of the biggest traditions we have. And I think what is so beautiful about Dia de los Muertos and the shrines is that they're not scary. These are some of the most colorful, colorful traditions that we have. Look at my makeup. Look at my headpiece. It's all colors. It's all of the most bright and happy colors out there because we don't want people to be afraid of what comes next. And this is just so natural. So I think, you know, these traditions, these symbolisms that we can put into our shrines, it's going to continue on the afterlife. And it's going to actually be welcoming arms of what comes next.
Yes.
So I love my shrines, and everybody has different ways of putting them. The thing that we like to do, we like to buy little sugar candies, and on the little sugar candies that are shaped like a skull, we like to write the name of the people and our loved ones that have passed. And we put those little skulls everywhere. And even on the shrine, we have, we have our pets as well. I encourage that. I think, you know, a lot of people are sometimes very skeptical or a little bit weirded out to put a shrine out. I've met a few friends who were like, I don't know if this is for me. I'm like, well, why don't you make a shrine for your pet this year? And it's been really amazing to see people do that. And they feel like they've connected in some way. They're furry babies, right?
Yeah.
It's awesome.
The ofrendas are fun, and it's kind of like throwing a party, right? For the people that you love the most who are no longer here, it's like throwing a theme party for them, sort of. Like you're setting the table with all of their favorite things to welcome them home, basically. It's based on their personalities and what they enjoyed, so it varies. It's photos of your loved ones, yes, but it's also their favorite snacks. It could be whiskey, cigarettes, tequila, whatever their vices are, you know? My Nana really loved Coca-Cola, like that was like her thing. She just always had a can of Coke in her hand. So my ofrenda always, always, always incorporates a can of Coke. Like it's just a staple. It just is. It's a given.
Oh, you know you're Latino when you put Coca-Cola on the shrine. That's for real. No, but for real, you can even put food on the shrines.
Yeah.
And you know, one of the most delicious traditions that we have is pan de muerto. And pan de muerto is the most delicious sweet bread in Mexico. So it's a delicious bread, sweet bread, that has these decorations on the top of the bread that represent the bones. And at the very top has another little, like almost like half a ball shape, and that's the belly button. It's very weird because people are like, so you're eating a person on a bread? It's like, well, yeah, but you know, we're continuing their legacy, and it's delicious. You know, my dad was making pan de muerto last weekend. He made 6 of them. You know how hard it is to keep fit at my house? It's tough, but it's awesome. So definitely there's a lot of beautiful traditions, even just making, you know, hot cocoa, the sweet bread, pozole. You can really make all of the delicious foods that the people in the past loved. And
You're
why not
making me
share it
very
with them the
hungry.
night of Day of the Dead?
Yes,
Yeah.
I love that. This holiday is entirely built around the fact that death isn't something to fear. It just is. It's just a matter of fact. And it should be celebrated the same way that life is. It's 2 sides of the same coin. You cannot have one without the other. They're intertwined, and it's all beautiful. For me, if anything, it's kind of a reminder that everything is temporary. And that's not in a dark or morbid or like a scary, anxious kind of way. It's more of like, live it up while you have the opportunity, while you're here. We don't get this forever, you know? That's why I like to do the half face. It's kind of like a visual reminder for me, like, this is me. This is honoring my loved ones who are no longer here. And it also represents, I'll be there someday too, you know? While I'm here in the realm of the living, live it up, baby. Like, live, soak it up, enjoy. It's temporary. So just, you know, enjoy it, roll with the punches, embrace it, embrace the good and the bad, embrace what's to come. It just is. Like you said about the colors, like it's all about bright, festive, big, vibrant pops of color. Like it's not dark and black and gothic and spooky Halloween. It's the opposite. It's like, you know, pops of color everywhere. Bright, vibrant, vivacious life. You know, it's really a party. It's a celebration. It's not spooky or morbid or any of those things. It's actually quite the opposite. Gigi, thank you so much for coming to do this. I'm so glad that we got to virtually celebrate together.
Angel, mwah! I miss you so much. So excited. Please give my love to all of the Fangoria crew. Amigos, to all of you watching. Put on your sugar skull. Put on your head crown. Feel amazing. And make your shrines. I can't wait to celebrate with you Dia de los Muertos, November 1st and 2nd. Los quiero mucho.
Have your dad bake me some pan de muerto because I'm coming to hang out next year. I miss you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you all for coming to celebrate with us. We love this holiday, as you can tell. Please share it with us. Show us your ofrendas. Show us your makeup. We want to see all of it. All right. Thank you.